Keith Thurman versus Sean Porter.
I see one time winning that fight. I think the reach advantage might come into play for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Sean Porter got crazy hard, and the only fight that I've ever seen Sean Porter get dominated on was that fight against Kell Brook. As a matter of fact, and I was there, and there was nothing he could do because he was just undersized, and Kell Brook popped that jab on him, and there was nothing to be done, and then he followed it up, and Sean Porter had no answer. But I think that as we saw against him with Adrian Broner, he was like, his heart is never in question. Neither is his talent. I just happen to be partial to Keith Thurman. I think he has the potential to be another, a new superstar in the sport.
I gotta ask you this: you have a podcast, The Ozone.
Yeah.
What's the one thing in boxing or MMA that you and your brother do not agree on?
Ooh, that's tough. We have a lot. No. Because I'm a giant fan of Andre Ward. And he thinks Andre Ward's a flat-foot fighter.
No.
Yeah, I do.
Really?
Flat-footed fighter?
He's a great fighter, but he's flat-footed.
Nah, he's one of the best fighters in the world.
He is one of the best fighters in the world.
I take nothing away from that, but I do believe that he's flat-footed.
So you don't believe he has ring generalship? You don't believe he has foot movement?
He has foot movement, but it's just not the greatest. I think that's something he can work on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now, I tell you what, a fight I would, like you asked me earlier, a fight I'd like to see, the fight I really, really want to see is Kovalev versus Ward.
Kovalev versus Ward.
Because you know what? Kovalev is another fighter who people think is just a knockout guy who actually can box.
He can box.
Yeah. Man, he put a hurting on Jean Pascal.
Oh, yeah.
Who wins that fight?
You know what? Just out of loyalty to California, I'm going to go with Andre Ward. But I think it's going to be a legit fight. I tell you what. I think Andre needs just one more tune-up fight because that last fight against Sullivan Barrera, Andre Ward looked both rusty and sharp at the same time. It was very, very interesting. I don't know if I've ever seen that in a fight before where a guy looked sharp and rusty.
And that's how he assessed his performance pretty much.
Yeah, and he still had it. There's no doubt about that. But a healthy Andre Ward figures things out. And I think that Kovalev it needs to get tested. I think a lot of these guys, man, public gets caught up nowadays with a guy can knock a dude out and so on and so forth. And for me, growing up, watching fighters go 15 rounds, it was about getting off the mat and making adjustments in the fight. And committing to that jab. And nowadays, with the 12-round fight, a lot of stuff has been changed there because the 12-round fight puts you in a position where if you're conditioned enough, you actually can dance for enough to I don't understand why, but you can dance if you get yourself a little lead. And the 15-rounder didn't allow for that. Also, for some reason now, they're much less apt to call even rounds now. But for some reason, you have to have everybody has to win a round, and sometimes everybody just doesn't win a round. And when you have a propensity for judges to not call even rounds, and you're fighting an even number of rounds, it causes for a lot more of these confused ass results that you see nonstop, which is the reason the UFC is trying to usurp boxing on as far as people's interest. Because you always know who won the UFC fight. Somebody's beat up and they're bloody and they can't breathe and they might have to go to the hospital or whatever.
What's your take on Conor McGregor retiring yesterday through tweet?
I think it's the best thing he could have done. Why keep fighting, man? He made a boatload of money. He can live with his family and chill out. Unless he just has a desire to fight, which I don't know. He seemed to have a desire to be a showman more so than a desire to fight. I don't see why he would need to continue to fight.
How about this? Nate Diaz, what do you think about it?
Crazy hard, and always had crazy heart. I like him and I like his brother because they both commit to boxing. I actually like watching them because they're more boxers than they are UFC guys, and I love that.
Who is the best boxer in UFC?
Oh, that's a good question. Wow. I have never put thought into that one. I think overall, I still got to go with John Jones. I haven't seen anybody get with John Jones boxing, grappling, whatever. That guy is a complete fighter. Now it seems like he's got his personal issues behind him. We'll see what happens. See if he goes and beats up on Daniel Cormier or not.
Usually boxing's the difference in the UFC. You know, when guys can actually throw punches, that seems to be the difference. You know?
Yeah.
John Jones is a great person. I don't know if you ever met him.
I've never met him, but I heard he's a great guy.
Great guy. What do you tell him if he's watching? He has a big fight this weekend.
Oh, man, I ain't got to tell John Jones nothing. He knows what time it is. Go out there and do your work. I just hope nobody gets hurt. You know, him and Daniel Cormier, they mixed it up before. John has a lot of advantages. He's taller. He's faster. Cormier's got big heart, though, and this will be interesting to see if John Jones has the heart and the desire to get back at his place on top of the league.
Is OSP
his brother, too, by the way.
Yeah. Is he the best pound for pound MMA fighter, John Jones?
Without question. Well, unless there's some change from this time off that he's taken. But I don't see anybody better than John Jones. Nor do I see anybody that has been better than John Jones. Like, at all, ever. I don't see he's got it all. Matter of fact, I was talking to a dude the other day that's a professional wrestler. He said he mixed it up with John Jones, and this guy is enormous, like 6'6", 260, rocked up. And he was saying that when him and John were mixing it up, he was amazed at how strong John Jones was, because he looks so super lean when you see him, but then he was like, when you get in there with him, he's like, you can't move him. It's a big deal.
No, he has the whole thing. He's
got the whole package.
Right. The elbows, the kicks.
Come on, man.
And when you see all these other fighters lose, when the hype gets built up, like a Ronda Rousey or Conor McGregor, it shows you how difficult it is to remain unbeaten like John Jones, right?
Man, are you crazy? It's hard. I don't put too much on the unbeaten tip because people lose, and the old adage goes, anybody's undefeated just ain't found the right guy yet. Because it's a guy out there somewhere who can always test you. Thing I like about, especially in MMA, thing I like about John Jones, he ain't scared to take those fights.
Yeah.
What's next for you career-wise? You did Baller season 1. I think season 2's coming.
Season 2, Baller's coming out on HBO July 17th. They just dropped the announcement yesterday. You guys will never believe where it goes this year, but it's very interesting. I'm back on the Dolphins. Charles Green's back on the field, and then you'll see where it goes from there. I can't say much else.
When they drop an 8 Mile Part 2, man.
They did. It was called Get Rich or Die Trying. Didn't do so well.
How cool is The Rock to work with?
Oh, forget about it. As cool as he comes off on screen, he's even better in person. That guy, he's a guy you want at the barbecue. That's a cool dude, man. I got nothing bad to say about him. He's just really, really kind, really generous, and he sets the tone, When the movies, making movies and TV is just like playing a sport. It's a team, and he sets the tone from the top. You're never waiting for him to come out of the trailer. He never shows up unprepared. You look at his Instagram, he's been up since 4 a.m. somehow or another. And it's this guy he's a genuine article.
How would you do against Tyson Fury? Boxing.
You know what? I have to figure. It depends on. if it's just boxing. I don't know about just boxing. But full. If they're wrestling or something, there may be a problem. But I'm not overly impressed with Tyson Fury myself. But he keeps winning, so there's something to be said for that.
Does OSP stand a chance this weekend?
Say it again.
Does OSP stand a chance this weekend?
You know what? I don't know. To be honest, I think that for me, I don't know. It's not highest on my radar, but I'm kind of more focused. I really, really am excited about this Canelo Khan fight. I'm really excited about. I'm really, really excited about this Fury Klitschko rematch. I'm really excited about this Thurman Porter fight. There's a lot of stuff that I'm pumped up about. The homie OSP is gonna have to be on his own right now.
What if there's?
You're gonna be at the Forum this weekend?
Count on that.
What do you think happens in the big fight, Wade Triple G?
You know what? I just want to see if the lights are too bright for Wade. I think that Triple G ends up victorious, but Wade's a good athlete. It seems like you get in the ring with Gennady and then he hits you with a jab or a punch that makes you rethink your strategy. And we'll see how Wade, we'll see if Wade can do something to make Triple G reassess his strategy. I haven't seen it yet, but we'll see.
Last thing, who's the best off-bound boxer in the world today? With Mayweather retired, Pacquiao retired, Conor McGregor retired.
Wow, that's tough. Pound, huh?
Chocolatico, Triple G, Ward. I mean, do you go with Klitschko? Do you go with Fury?
I know. For me, I'm going with Triple G here. I'm going to go with Terrence Crawford. Yeah,
that's what Buddy McGregor always tells me.
Is that right?
Every day.
Yeah, he's a monster.
40, 47, 54, he beats everyone.
He's a monster. And he adjusts in the fight, which I really appreciate. But, I mean, Gennady ain't far off. Realistically, I go with Andre Ward if he had just maybe 2 more fights. And I love Deontay Wilder, but I don't think he's ready. He's ready to beat up a bunch of heavyweights, but I don't know about pound for pound.
Right. Where to find the podcast? Where to follow you on Instagram?
Follow me, Omar Miller, at Omar Miller, and at Omar Vincent Miller on Instagram, at Omar Miller on Twitter. Find the Ozone Podcast on Stitcher or on iTunes.
Instagram?
And I
There you have it.